Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tom Banky, and I'm the Manager of Communications and Development here at Forward Community Investments, and I would like to welcome you to today's presentation on our Game Changer Grant Program. Forward Community Investments is a community developmental financial institution that serves the state of Wisconsin. We are an investor, connector, and advisor for organizations and initiatives that reduce racial and economic disparities in Wisconsin communities. We are able to accomplish this through community financing, community development services, and grant making. For more information regarding FCI and all that we do, I invite you to visit our website at www.forwardci.org. As I mentioned, just wanted to welcome you all to our presentation today where we're going to be talking about our unique Game Changer grant program. These grants are intended to provide opportunities for small or startup programs or initiatives that are aligned with FCI's mission and vision. We will award one grant of $3,000 to a different program, organization, or initiative each month through 2019 that are working to reduce those racial and economic disparities that I had recently spoke of. So a little bit about our grant-making philosophy. We agree to trust and be trustworthy and practice transparency. And hopefully this presentation will enlighten some of that. We are interested in building trust and identifying shared values and not in pursuing formal control mechanisms, for instance, lengthy contracts, long-term accountability systems. We just want to operate from a place of humility and curiosity. We understand that there's organizations that have been working in this equity space far longer than we have, so we're committed to learning from our applicants and awardees. As a matter of fact, you will receive, if you apply for this for these grants, we do reach out with a survey to gauge how you think things went, how we could change things, what would make it better from your standpoint. So be on the lookout for that if you do apply. And we typically will just focus on the mission of the request. Not typically, we will always do that. Like I had mentioned, it is a very unique process. Oh my God. There are just two pieces to the application process for our Game Changer grants. The first piece is a short video, 3 to 5 minutes, cell phone quality. And then the second piece is a short form, which is just asking for basic program, organization, or initiative information. I'll go into these more into detail in a little bit, but right now we just kind of wanted to set the stage. So for the eligibility criteria for applicants, you must be a recognized 501c3 or 501c4 organization, a group that is sponsored by another 501c3. For instance, if you're a smaller startup organization or program and you have a fiscal sponsor, which is a 501c3, that will completely work. The other piece is that the applicant's budget cannot be more than $2.5 million. So an example of that would be that we had an organization that had a program that was applying for a grant, and that program had a budget that was nowhere close to $2.5 million, but the total overall organizational budget was over $2.5 million. But since the grant ask was coming from the program, it was eligible. You must be able to prove that you are working to reduce racial and economic inequities in one or more Wisconsin communities. The applicant can be involved in direct services, policy and advocacy, or community organizing. Grant funds can be used for expenses related to operations and or capacity building. So the list of things that we do not fund is a little bit longer. We will not fund projects outside of Wisconsin. We will not fund individuals. We will not fund capital campaigns. We will not fund endowments. We will not fund sponsorships. And we will not fund for-profit businesses. As I mentioned, it's just that two-piece application process, and now's the time where we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about each piece. So regarding the video, we're asking you to submit a short being 3 to 5 minute cell phone quality video. It is important to note that we do not want you to chase down state-of-the-art technology or pay access to video equipment or pay an outside party to produce this video for you. For the most part, everybody has a cell phone with video recording capabilities. If you do not have one, hopefully you do know someone who does. Someone in your organization has one, so they're available. Use it. And there's also some digital cameras that have the ability to record video as well. Production quality for these videos is not a deciding factor in the selection process. I can share with you a couple of the awardees that received Game Changer grants. Their videos were shaky. They were cutting in and out as far as the video portion of it. The audio portion stayed the same, but the video was cutting in and out. That's fine. We're more worried about the content of the video as opposed to the quality of the video itself. Videos cannot, I repeat, cannot be more than 5 minutes. If you are over 5 minutes, you will be disqualified. We know that you have a lot to say, but for the purposes of this grant, try to keep it 3 to 5 minutes. Try to keep it short and sweet. The videos must be submitted via YouTube. There are a couple ways that you can do this, and like I said, I'll get to that a little bit later. But if you do have any issues with YouTube, feel free to reach out. My name is Tom Banky, like I mentioned earlier. My email address is there, and my phone number is there as well. One last note is that we do reserve the right to not post content that is inappropriate or does not fit our Game Changer grants. The videos must convey the mission, vision of the organization or program that is seeking funds. You also must tell the story about what is being done specifically to reduce racial and economic disparities. There are some video guidelining questions to help you along with this as well. Tell us your name, tell us your role, tell us the organization that you're representing. Convey the mission and vision of the organization or program. Offer a brief description of that organization, program, or initiative that is seeking funds. Let us know how the grants will be used, specifically for if it's in a certain county, city, neighborhood, etc. Tell us how racial and economic equity is currently incorporated into your day-to-day work. And then also you must name race and economic disparities when talking about problems and solutions and how you will use these grant proceeds. We also want you to estimate the impact of the grant. We do not want you to give us numbers, say this grant will help serve X amount of students or that. We want you to kind of make it more broad than that. What is the impact on a bigger scale than just numbers? So once these questions are addressed, feel free to use the remaining time, if there is any left, to tell us a little bit more about the story. Make sure you tell us a compelling story. Make us laugh, make us cry, make us say wow, essentially just make us remember your story long after we view your video. So now I'll speak to a little bit about how to specifically upload your video. So once your video has been recorded on your phone, mobile device, or camera, upload it to YouTube. And there's a couple ways that you can do that. We have had a few organizations apply for Game Changer grants that actually already have a YouTube channel already. If you do, that's great. Go ahead and upload it to your own channel, and you can email me the link to that video at grants@forwardci.org. In the subject line, put Game Changer grant submission and the organization that you're representing so I can catalog that as well. However, if your organization or you personally do not have a YouTube channel, that is fine. We have one set up specifically for these grants just for this purpose. So if you don't have one, that is fine. But right now, I will actually head to our website right now and show you that we have some step-by-step directions on how to upload those videos. So if you come to our homepage, if you hover over what we do and go down to granting and click on that, it'll take you to our granting page. And then underneath our three-pronged grants program, click on Game Changer grants, and you'll be taken to our Game Changer grant overview page, which outlines everything that you need to know regarding our Game Changer grants. More information on the video and the short form and things like that. But right under here, under the overview, you can see there's various links that you can click to if you have any more questions about stuff. But specifically for this piece, I'm going to click on the how to upload your video and video permission. So here's a little bit more information about that. And if you click on the how to upload your video to YouTube, it will connect you to a step-by-step direction document that has everything that you need to know. How to access our YouTube grants channel, the username, the password, the email for everything that you can get in, step-by-step directions with images on how to upload your video, as well as where and how to label that as well. So it shouldn't take you too long, but if you do have any issues with it, feel free to reach out to me. I've got my contact information all over this webinar, so feel free to reach out to me at that point. So now we'll get back to our presentation. So and then we'll talk a little bit about the short form, and we do mean short. So it shouldn't take more than 15 minutes to complete this form. We're only asking for the basics, name, last name, phone number, physical address, city, state, zip. If you are a 501c3 certified organization, if not, who is your fiscal sponsor? We also ask if this is a time-sensitive request. I'll be getting to that a little bit later. But it should take no more than 15 minutes, and we are trying something new this year. This short form will actually be an online form, so you can fill it out online. The past couple times that we have had these open submission periods, it was a little bit harder of a process to get that short form, but hopefully we have streamlined that to make everybody's lives a little bit easier. So now I wanted to talk a little bit about the selection process. The submissions that we receive during the current submission period will represent quarters 1 and quarters 2 of 2019, so January through June. We will also have another submission period for quarters 3 and quarters 4 in April or May of 2019, so keep on the lookout for that if you are unable to apply this round. We have a two-tiered selection process that consists of an internal selection committee and an external selection committee. The internal selection committee is comprised of FCI board and staff members. This committee will review all of the submissions that we received based on the evaluation criteria that I will get to in a moment. Once all of the submissions have been reviewed by the internal selection committee, we will take the 20 highest rated submissions and break them down into two groups of 10 semifinalists. One group of semifinalists for quarter 1 and one group for quarter 2. One note, I understand that some of these grant requests will be time sensitive. I had mentioned in the previous slide about our short form, there is a place where you can indicate if it is time sensitive, and we will talk a little bit more about that later. Now back to our selection committees. Once the internal selection committee evaluates all of the submissions and identifies the two groups of semifinalists, it is now up to the external selection committee to make the final selections. The external selection committee is comprised of up to 5 individuals that are representative of the state's geography, gender, race, ethnicity, age, and occupation. The external selection committee will review the first group of semifinalists for quarter 1 from Thursday, January 4th through Thursday, January the 18th. Once those reviews are completed, the top 3 rated submissions will represent the awardees for quarter 1. This process will then repeat itself in March for quarter 2 semifinalists. I will note that the internal and external selection committees will use the same evaluation criteria and survey for all submissions. As I mentioned earlier, we will be holding another Game Changer grant submission period in April or May for quarters 3 and 4. If you are selected as an awardee, you will be contacted during the second week of the month that you are selected to be a Game Changer awardee. We do ask that if you are selected that you keep the information to yourselves until the third week of the month when the announcement will go public. We do make those announcements via email, our website, as well as our social media platforms of Facebook and Twitter. So we will issue those grant funds to your organization, program, or initiative within 30 days of notification, and applicants can resubmit another video or the same video for consideration during the next round of grant submissions and the selection. However, applicants, if you do receive a Game Changer grant, you are not eligible to receive another one in that calendar year. So now I'll talk a little bit about our evaluation criteria. Once it's determined that the applicant is eligible, the request will be evaluated for the following traits. And like I said, this is done by the internal and external selection committee. The questions that we will ask will be, how disruptive is this request for grant funds? Is it really changing the system? Is it, no pun intended, being a game changer? How innovative is the request? Has this been done before? If not, maybe we're not so much interested. We just want to make sure that it's a brand new idea, that it's doing something that's going to make a lot of change in your community. The next question is involving the tipping point. If the request is approved, does it offer a tipping point for change to occur? So that can also be explained in the video as well. And lastly, I had mentioned impact. What is the projected impact of the request? We are not asking about numbers here, but rather about the impact of change, more of on a broader scope. So now kind of getting back to some of the timeline for quarters 1 and quarters 2, the submissions that we received during the period now through Monday, December the 17th at noon will represent awardees for quarters 1 and quarters 2, January through June. So like I had said, the internal selection committee will review the videos from December 17th until January 3rd of 2019. And then once those videos have been evaluated, they will be broken down into those 2 groups of semifinalists, and the external selection committee will have until January 18th to name the awardees for quarter 1, so January, February, and March. So then during the 3rd week of each month, we will announce the Game Changer grant via our email, messaging, our website, Facebook, and Twitter pages. So I know that this is a ton of information, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help out in any way that I can. You can also visit that website that we were previously on, forwardci.org/game-changer-grants. If you scroll down to the Game Changer overview, you will find complete information, including all of the info covered in this presentation, and also those links to some previous awardees, so you can get a better idea of what we're looking for. Also, you'll notice that there is a video underneath all the writing here on this slide, and that's me actually talking a little bit about these Game Changer grants. I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not prepared to do myself. So I prepared a short video to kind of talk a little bit about the grants, kind of outlining what we want to do or what we're looking for and things like that. So feel free to check in on that. So lastly, good luck to everyone. We hope that this process is conducive to your work. We hope that it doesn't take too much time away from your work. We're trying to make this as easy as we can for the applicants so we can try to help out as many organizations as we can. Like I had mentioned previously, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is there. Happy to answer any questions that you may have. The submission period does end on Monday, December the 17th at noon. So with that being said, good luck, take care, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Bye-bye now.